Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the September meeting of the Western Planning Committee of BCP Council. First, I'll hand over to the Democratic Services Officer, Rebecca Rhodes, to give us our housekeeping.
Thank you, Chair. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Council for live broadcast and will be published on the Council website for a minimum of 6 months. The meeting may also be recorded or streamed for live or subsequent broadcast by members of the public, although ultimate discretion in this matter lies with the Chair in case of disruption. For those in the room, please note that if the fire alarm sounds, please exit the building by way of the nearest available signed fire exit route and make your way to the assembly point at the War Memorial in the gardens opposite the front of this building in Bourne Avenue. Finally, please ensure background noise is kept to a minimum and mobile phones and other devices are turned off or switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. For those in the room, this includes turning off microphones and turning the volume down completely on your laptops. Thank you.
Thank you. And have we apologies for absence?
Yes, Chair. We've received apologies from Councillor Peter Cooper, Councillor Michelle Dower and Councillor John Challoner.
Thank you. And we have substitutes for some of them.
Yes, Councillor Gillian Martin is substituting for Councillor Peter Cooper and Councillor Patrick Canavan is substituting for Councillor Michelle Dower.
Thank you very much. So before we go any further, I'll ask us all to introduce ourselves for the benefit of those in the room and watching by remote link. My name is Marion Le Pedvin. I'm chair of this meeting and this committee.
Councillor Jo Clements, vice chair.
We're working around the room.
Gillian Martin, Boscombe West councillor.
Councillor Patrick Canavan, I'm here as a substitute, but normally a councillor in Boscombe West.
Councillor Chapman Law for Alderney and Bourne Valley.
Cameron Adams, councillor for Kinton.
Councillor Simon McCormack, Burton and Grange Ward.
Kate Salmon, Moordown Ward.
Brian Hitchcock, Hamworthy.
Peter Sidway, Broadstone.
Thank you. And we have various council officers with us. You've already heard from Rebecca Rhodes, who will be clerking, taking the minutes for this meeting and generally keeping us in order. Then we have
David Hodges, Development Management Manager.
Robert Firth, Senior Solicitor.
Gareth Ball, Senior Planner.
Thank you.
Monica Kwiatkowska, DM Team Leader, West Team.
And Emma Woods, Planning Officer.
Thank you. And we will have other officers on screen to be called in as and when they're needed. Before we go any further, I have been contacted by someone who was at the previous meeting that they were having difficulty hearing some of us speak. So could you make sure, could we all make sure, me included, of course, that we've got our mics near us and we are speaking towards the mics and speaking reasonably loudly and clearly. And hopefully, I think it was people in the room were having difficulties as well as online. So if there's any difficulties down that end of the room, can you sort of wave if you can't hear? And we'll try that, do something about it. Sorry? Okay. Shall we have another? Shall we do it again just to make? No, I mean I was just meaning for testing the sound. For testing the sound, not necessarily so that you hear the names, but for testing. So I'm Marion Le Pedvin, chair.
Jo Clements, vice chair.
Gillian Martin, substitute member today, Boscombe West normally as a councillor.
Councillor Patrick Canavan, here as a substitute, but normally councillor in Boscombe West.
Councillor Chapman Law.
I'm getting arms waving already. Yeah, can you also, Patrick, can you bend your mic down? That's better. Well, get it to mouth level.
Chair, I think it's more a case of talking into the microphone.
Yeah.
Shall I try again? My name is Councillor Patrick Canavan. I'm here as a substitute, but I'm normally a councillor in Boscombe West.
Gillian Martin, I'm a substitute as well and normally a councillor in Boscombe West.
Councillor Chapman Law for Alderney and Bourne Valley.
Cameron Adams, Kinton.
Councillor Simon McCormack, Burton and Grange Ward.
Kate Salmon, Moordown Ward.
Brian Hitchcock, Hamworthy.
Peter Sidaway, Broadstone.
Okay, let's leave it at that just for members for now. Was that any better? Thank you very much. So, everybody. Okay, so now we move on with the agenda. And I must ask if there are any declarations of interest from members. Councillor McCormack.
I wasn't at the site visit this morning, so I won't be participating in that item.
Thank you. So, but you will be not 6A, but 6B and 6E.
Yes.
You will. So, when we get to 6A imminently, you'll leave us. Thank you. And we have the minutes from the previous meeting, the August meeting on the 15th. Is everybody happy to accept these as a true record of what happened? Thank you. I'll sign those in a minute. After we've heard the officer presentations for each item, then there won't be an opportunity for those who have registered to speak to make their comments, their presentation, be that in objection, in support, or ward councillors. Then we move on to questions from members of the committee, questions of fact and information and clarification. And then finally, we have the discussion moving on eventually to a vote. But we move on now to 6A, and before we get into any presentations, we have an update to consider.
Chair, thank you. Yes, I'll pass over to Mr. Ball.
Thank you very much. As well, thanks everyone. Thanks members for the site visit earlier on today, and thanks everyone that's attended in relation to this item today. Officers have received a number of new third-party representations following the publishing of the committee report and also the addendum to the committee report yesterday. We received a council's opinion on behalf of the appellant scheme that's currently being considered at appeal by the Secretary of State. The letter raises various issues with the legality of progressing to a decision on the application at the current time. And officers have not had sufficient time to provide members with the full and robust consideration of the new matters raised. The responses in part raise procedural issues relating to the availability of relevant documents online. Officers want to ensure that any decision on the application is legally sound and fair to all parties. So in light of this, officers request that the committee item is deferred from the current planning committee, Chair.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add to that at this stage? Mr. Firth or Mr. Hedges?
Not at this stage, Chair.
Okay, thank you. So, committee, we've had officers have received this opinion from KC that it's unsafe for us to consider and are recommending that we defer any discussion and decision on this item. But it is for us as a committee to, as to whether we accept that recommendation or not. We are at liberty to proceed if we desire, but the recommendation is that we defer. So, have I any comments from any committee members on that? Councillor Canavan.
Move we defer it, Chair.
Thank you. Have I got a second for that?
Yeah, Councillor Hitchcock, defer it.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak to the item? Okay, let's move straight to the vote. So we've had the motion that we accept the recommendation from officers that we defer this discussion and debate and decision to a future date. Those in favour, please show. Okay, that's unanimous. So that is the decision. The debate and all further proceedings on 6A are deferred to a future date as yet undecided. So we should be moving on straight away onto 6B. Yes. You'll get Councilman. Thank you. Yeah. Very brief adjournment because a lot of people are leaving the room and we have to get the other councillor back who's left us. So welcome back to the resumed meeting of Western Planning Committee for BCP. We move now on to item 6B, which is the saltwater sauna at Sandbanks Promenade in Poole. And the presentation is ready and will be on screen imminently. Thank you.
Okay, so the planning application in front of you today is for the saltwater sauna on Sandbanks Promenade in Poole, and it seeks full planning permission to extend the existing sauna building. The application has been brought to committee as BCP are the landowners. Here's a map showing a broad location of the site. The application site is located on the Sandbanks Promenade, close to the L-shaped row of beach huts, which you can just see here. The surrounding area includes beach huts, a crazy golf course, play area, cafe and beachside concessions, along with car parking to the south, which is just down here, and to the north are residential properties. Here are some site photos of the existing sauna. This is the front of the sauna here, which is accessed from the promenade, and here are the rear windows which overlook the beach and coastline. As you can see, the sauna has black timber cladding, a slanted roof, and the vertical walls are cladded in sheet metal. You can just see here the end of the block of the beach huts that I mentioned before. Here's another photo showing the side of the sauna as it is at the moment, with the pavilion down there behind. And here's the proposed block plan. And as you can see here, the proposal seeks to extend the sauna by 4 metres to the northeast. And the extension will be constructed of the same materials, with a slatted roof to remain cohesive with the existing structure. No permanent foundations are required, and the sauna is not plumbed in and therefore does not generate wastewater. The electricity is provided by solar panels, and the wood burner is fueled by logs, which are brought to the site by staff. So here's some elevations of what's proposed. So we've got the existing sauna here, and the highest point of the existing sauna is 3.2 metres, and the proposed extension would have a lower ridge height of 3 metres. And whilst the extension would increase the overall size of the existing sauna when viewed from the shoreline, the proposed sauna would be seen in relation to the side of the 2-storey beach hut block behind. And therefore it's considered that the scale and height of the proposal would not appear overly dominant. The sauna is close to the end of the Sandbanks Beach Promenade, which is a lesser utilised section of the promenade, as further access from here is limited to the sand dunes or directly onto the beach. And here we've just got an elevation there of the side. So here is the existing and proposed floor plans. The existing sauna has a changing room, and then there's a sauna area here to the side, and the extension would add an additional sauna area to the side of what's already there. The proposal is approximately 60 metres from the nearest residential properties at 85 Banks Road to the north. And at such a distance, the structure will be compatible with neighbouring living conditions in terms of overbearing impact, loss of outlook or loss of privacy. The proposal would intensify the use, however, it's considered compatible with the general levels of activity on the public beach. And the opening hours will remain the same as the existing sauna and can be secured by condition. The principle of the use of the sauna has already been accepted on this site and has been in situ for approximately 3 years. Prior to 2023, it was a temporary structure. The proposed facility supports well-being and is evidently well supported by local residents and visitors to the area. Comments from the public confirm that bookings are often full, and therefore the need for extra capacity is evidenced and supported. The scheme has evident economic and social benefits from the continued operation of this commercial facility in a busy tourist location on the beachfront. Appropriate safeguards in the form of conditions mean that the environmental impacts are neutral. The scheme therefore represents sustainable development. The proposed extension of the sauna is considered to be compliant and is also supported by BCP's Environmental Health Officer and Biodiversity Officer. and as such, the proposed development is considered to comply with the development plan as a whole and policies within the MPPPF and is recommended for approval. Okay, any questions?
Thank you. So now we move on to speakers, and we've only got one person registered, and that's Chris Mail on behalf of the applicant.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Chris Mill and I'm an Associate Director at Pure Town Planning, and I'm here speaking in support of the proposal on behalf of the applicant. I'm an RTPI Chartered Town Planner with over 10 years of experience, which includes a 2-year period working as a planning inspector. The application before you today has been recommended for approval by your officers, and it's only referred to committee for decision because BCP Council are the landowner. The proposal has extensive public support, and of the 208 representations submitted to the council, 196 of them are supportive of the proposal. The 8 letters of objection which were submitted originated from users of the nearby volleyball courts who were concerned that smoke from the sauna could blow over the courts when in use. The council's environmental health officer has reviewed these comments and raised no objection to the proposal, noting that the prevailing wind blows smoke away from the volleyball courts. Despite this, the applicant is keen to maintain good relationships with other beach users. Therefore, they voluntarily increased the height of the extract flue at the site. And since these works were completed, no further objections have been submitted to the council. So as you have heard, permission is sought to extend the current sauna building. And I just wish to use my time today to outline the main considerations why I feel that members should proceed to grant permission in line with the recommendation. When the sauna opened in 2021, it was only one of 4 sauna businesses in the UK at a seafront location. However, since then, the UK seaside sauna movement has experienced unprecedented growth as the health and well-being benefits of sauna use have become more widely published. And as a result of this, there are now over 150 similar sauna businesses operating along the UK coastline. And this rapid growth demonstrates the rising demand for wellness-based leisure activities in coastal areas such as sandbanks. The existing sauna is well used by the local community and tourists. In addition, the operator works with local charities and non-profits such as Dorset Mind and local veterans groups to offer free sauna sessions to promote mental well-being. Consequently, the sauna is often booked for weeks in advance, and there is an established need for extra capacity at the site, which would be satisfied by this proposal. The Saltwater Sauna are an award-winning sauna provider who provide an authentic Finnish wood-fired sauna experience, which attracts tourists and locals and like-minded sauna and sea swimming enthusiasts from all walks of life. The operator aims to provide an authentic Nordic sauna experience, and the position of the sauna near to the beach is essential because it allows users to partake in contrast therapy, which is a traditional Nordic technique involves a repeated cycle of a sauna followed by a cold water dip in the sea. The benefits of sauna use are extensive and include reduced stress and anxiety, increased socializing, improved blood flow and cardiovascular health, reduced inflammation and chronic pain, boosted immune system, improved moisture barrier, improved sleep quality and chronic fatigue, and also improved brain health, including reducing the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Aside from these health and well-being benefits, the sauna also benefits the local economy through sauna tourism and established links with local businesses such as cafes, restaurants and bars, which are often frequented by hungry customers after their sauna session. These business relationships will continue to thrive and grow when the sauna's capacity is extended by the proposal. The proposal has been assessed by the planning officer who is supportive of the scheme. In addition, there are no objections from the council's ecologist, transportation services, BCP Tourism and the lead local flood authority. So in summary, members, the proposal complies with the development plan and has overwhelming public support. Therefore, I hope you agree with your officer's recommendation to grant permission and vote in favour of approving the scheme. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Mill. So, members, have you any questions about this proposal? No, looks like not. Right, anyone want to start the discussion? Councillor McCormack.
I think it's a good application. It doesn't really have any negative impact on its surroundings and is already existing use. So if nobody else has got any nothing else to say, I will propose that it's granted. Looking for a seconder.
Thank you. It looks as though we've got a seconder.
Yeah, absolutely happy second. It looks brilliant. So let's crack on.
Okay, so the motion has been proposed and seconded. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? No, move straight to the vote. The vote is that we accept.
That's unanimous.
Unanimous. Well done. Thank you, everybody. We move on to item 6C, 60 Vicarage Road Pool. And again, Emma Woods is the case officer and will give us the presentation.
Okay, so just bear with me. So the application we have today here is 60 Vicarage Road in Poole, and it seeks full planning permission for the provision of a single-storey rear wraparound extension and external hardscaping. The application has been brought to committee as the applicant is a councillor. Okay. So here's a map showing the broad location of the site within Vicarage Road. The application site is located on the northeastern side of Vicarage Road and is occupied by a detached two-storey dwelling. The surrounding properties vary in scale and design from bungalows to two-storey dwellings and blocks of flats. Here are some site photos at the front of the site, which you actually can't see from here, but it's well screened from the road with tall trees and hedges with an in and out driveway. And the dwelling is set back substantially from the road. There's parking for at least 3 vehicles on the driveway to the front, and the existing dwelling is finished with natural pebble dash with a pitched gable end roof form and cat slide roof above the porch. And here we can see the relationship with the neighbouring properties either side. Here's some photos of the rear elevation, and you can just see here there's an existing single-storey lean-to style conservatory. Here's the conservatory, sorry, and here's the kitchen here, and those are both to be demolished. Additionally, there's a detached garage to the rear here, which is to be retained. This is the proposed block plan, and as you can see, there's a flat roof extension with a green, it's got a green roof is proposed with inset roof lights and an area of patio to the side, to the rear there. This is just showing the proposed front elevation, and as we can see that there would be glimpses of the roof form just here when viewed from the driveway gap of the application site. The proposed materials are different from the existing, with timber cladding, aluminium framed windows and bifold doors, and a green flat roof. However, these elements will be largely located to the rear with limited glimpses of the uppermost section of the timber cladding and roof through the driveway gap of the application site. And given the variety of materials present within the street scene, this change of material is considered acceptable. And whilst different, would only have a limited impact on the wider character of the area. The proposed single-storey extension would have a flat roof form, you can just see that there, and a total height of 3 metres. And a separation distance with the neighbour of 0.9 metres would still be retained. Here's a view from the rear, so you can just see the rear extension there. It would bring a greater bulk and mass towards the neighbouring property at number 58. However, that would be proportionate to the plot size, and it would retain suitable forecourt and rear garden space. Due to the single-storey nature of the proposed extension and retained separation distance, the proposal would not appear overbearing and would not give rise to a material loss of outlook, loss of sunlight, daylight, or harmful shading. Bear with me, my mouse has decided to disappear there. The proposed extension would be inset about 5 metres from the boundary with 60A Vicarage Road to the other side and 10 metres from the rear boundary. So therefore there'd be no overbearing impact or significant loss of outlook to the other neighbours. In terms of fenestration, the patio doors, entrance doors and windows on the sides of the and rear of the extension would all be at ground floor level, and the existing boundary treatments would still be in existence, so there would be no overlooking or material loss of privacy to the occupants of the neighbouring properties. Here it is from the side southeast elevation, and here from the side northwest elevation. And here we have the proposed floor plan, so you can see here, and this is the distance with the neighbour here. So just to summarise, the proposed bulk and massing will be proportionate to the plot size. The single-storey wraparound extension will be inset away from the neighbouring properties, and the flat roof design and materials will respect the appearance of the existing dwelling. The proposed wraparound extension is considered to be a well-designed scheme in keeping with the building's character and will have an acceptable impact on the street scene of Vicarage Road and the wider surrounding area. The proposed development would not have a materially harmful impact on the privacy and amenities of the occupants of neighbouring properties, and therefore will comply with policy and is recommended for approval. And that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much for that presentation. So we have no requests to speak from members of the public. So committee, any questions for Ms Woods? Yes, Councillor Canavan.
Hesitate because this is a really stupid question, but in terms of the colour of the materials on the extension, is the colour that's on these slides representative of the actual colour? Because it does look somewhat different to its original.
Go back here. So it'd be like a natural wood cladding on here. The existing dwelling is like a buff pebble dash, so it would still blend in, and you would only see the very top section from the road as well. So most of it would only ever be seen if you entered into the application site itself at the rear.
Councillor Clements.
Thank you, Chair. I had a similar question actually, and I was wondering, is there a particular reason why the extension is cladded in wood? Was there a reason for that, or is it just a design reference?
I suspect it was just a design reference. I mean, the wood will age over time, and it does go like a silvery grey.
Any other questions? Okay, so open up for discussion.
I was going to say the house itself is sort of natural colours, isn't it? It's green and the natural pebble dash, and I think that wood effect will look nice when it ages with the house. I think it's the whole style of the house is oldie worldy.
Once it ages, it will go like a silvery grey, and as you can see from the road, you would just see this kind of section just here, and it's durable. You know, it lasts well as well. So it's a good natural product.
I mean, the green's not really my colour, but other than that, I have absolutely no. But that's a personal thing. It just doesn't suit me. But other than that, I think it's absolutely fine. So obviously happy to propose it. Despite, can I add an informative that the green can maybe change? But
so we have a proposal. Anyone wishing to second at this stage? Oh, forest of hands.
I'll second it, Marion.
Okay. Councillor Sidaway, but also Councillor Hitchcock and Councillor McCormack all had their hands up to second. So any discussion on this? Right, move straight to the vote. Those in favour?
Yep, that's unanimous, Chair.
Again, unanimous. Thank you. So that's the end of the meeting. Yeah. So, have you switched off?
No.
Right. So the meeting is now closed.